I never imagined my retirement party, the day meant to celebrate a lifetime of hard work, would become the night that changed everything I knew about family, love, and betrayal. The evening began like a dream. The golden lights shimmered across the banquet hall, laughter echoed off the walls, and people I'd mentored over the years came to shake my hand, offering congratulations and heartfelt stories. After 38 years at the same company, I was finally closing this chapter of my life. My wife Evelyn had tears in her eyes. She knew how much this moment meant to me. My son Mark stood proudly by my side, but his wife Lisa wore that same forced smile she always had around me, the kind that never quite reached her eyes. You see, Lisa and I never truly got along. I tried, God knows I did. When Mark brought her home for the first time, I welcomed her with open arms. But over the years, I saw something in her that didn't sit right with me. The greed, the manipulation, the way she spoke to Mark when she thought no one was listening. I stayed silent for my son's sake, but deep down, I knew she wasn't with him for love. That night, as people made speeches and raised glasses, I caught something strange out of the corner of my eye. Lisa was standing near the drinks table, her eyes darting nervously as she poured 2 glasses of champagne. One for me, one for her, I assumed. But then I noticed her slipping something small, like a pill or powder, into one of the glasses. My heart froze. For a moment, I questioned myself. Maybe I imagined it, maybe it was nothing. But then she turned, that sweet smile plastered across her face, and handed me the very same glass. "Here you go, Dad," she said softly, her voice dripping with false warmth. I looked at the glass, then at her. My instincts screamed. I smiled politely, pretending to take it, and as she turned to grab a napkin, I switched our glasses. It was quick, subtle, no one noticed. I raised my glass to the crowd as everyone shouted, "Cheers!" and took a sip from what was now her drink. What happened next silenced the room. Within minutes, Lisa clutched her throat, her face twisting with pain. She stumbled, knocking over a table, and collapsed. Panic erupted. My son rushed to her, shouting her name, calling for help. The paramedics arrived in minutes, but she was barely conscious. They rushed her to the hospital, and I followed behind in stunned silence. The next few hours were a blur. The doctors said she'd ingested a strong sedative mixed with alcohol, a dangerous combination. She could have gone into cardiac arrest. The police questioned everyone, and that's when the truth began to unfold. When they tested both glasses, they found traces of the same substance, but only mine had been tampered with before the switch. And on the security footage, they clearly saw Lisa slipping the powder into my drink. My son was devastated. He didn't want to believe it, but the evidence was undeniable. When Lisa finally regained consciousness, she broke down and confessed everything. It turned out she had been siphoning money from my company account for years. She'd convinced Mark to let her handle investments for the family, and when she learned that my retirement fund included a substantial bonus payout, she panicked. She thought if I found out, I'd expose her, and she'd lose everything. So, she planned to drug me just enough to make me seem confused or disoriented, hoping it would appear like age-related decline. That way, she and Mark could gain power of attorney and access my accounts. The betrayal cut deeper than any knife. My own daughter-in-law had tried to ruin me. But what shattered me most was the look on my son's face. Confusion, guilt, heartbreak. He'd trusted her completely. In the weeks that followed, Mark filed for divorce. He couldn't bear the lies anymore. Lisa faced charges for fraud and attempted poisoning. I thought I'd feel angry, but mostly, I felt tired. Tired of the pretending, the endless smiles that hid secrets. I retired not just from my job, but from trying to hold together a family built on illusions. Months later, on a quiet morning, Mark came to see me. His eyes were red, his hands shaking. "Dad," he said, "I'm so sorry for not seeing what she was doing. You tried to warn me." I placed my hand on his shoulder. "Son, love blinds the best of us. What matters is you're free now. Learn from it and never ignore your instincts again." That moment of forgiveness healed more than I realized. It wasn't just about him. It was about me letting go of the anger that had weighed me down for years. As I sat on my porch that evening, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of gold and red, I thought about that night again. The drink, the switch, the chaos. Life had a strange way of revealing truth, sometimes through the most unexpected moments. I had worked my entire life to earn my peace, and I almost lost it because of someone else's greed. But in the end, I learned something powerful. You can't control what others do, but you can control how you respond. That night could have ended my life. Instead, it ended a lie. And as I lifted my glass of plain water to the fading light, I whispered to myself, here's to second chances and to always trusting your gut. Because sometimes, the smallest decision, like switching a glass, can save your entire life.